Exactly. Welcome everyone to the third long-awaited episode of This Week in Geek. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Saturday afternoon or morning, depending on where you're watching us from. Or thank you for joining us on this Monday, where this episode has just dropped on Spotify. You guys know you come to this YouTube channel on Saturdays to watch us live, and you let us join you on your commute, on your jog, at the gym, during your workout on Mondays on Spotify. And the link for Spotify is in the description. Go out there, subscribe to the feed, give us a rating, help the show out. And of course, I'm joined today, as always, by my good friend and co-host, Zack Pope. How are you doing today, Zack?
Every Friday, I'm like, I'm gonna go to bed earlier tonight because I gotta get up early. And tomorrow is daylight savings times for us, so it'll actually be, yeah. But no, I didn't go to bed early last night. Kept playing Elden Ring. Which when we do our weekly ranking, I've literally watched only 3 movies. So
I have something very interesting to share in my weekly ranking because of you that I want to share with you.
Okay.
I don't know your thoughts on this thing, but I'm pretty sure you've seen it.
Okay.
And you're very attached to it.
Okay. Sounds good. I can't wait. I can't wait. Pretty sure I think I know what it is, but I'm not.
Don't try and guess because I don't want to let you know.
I won't.
But yeah, how is Elden Ring? How are you enjoying it or not?
So I gave myself a dead leg the other day because I got fucking mad at the game, and I literally punched myself in the leg because I was so fucking mad. But I'm loving it. Like, it is. Okay. I wouldn't like. There's a lot of every review said like 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I would say for the concept that the game developers have created with like Dark Souls and Demon Souls, this is their 10 out of 10. Is the game actually a 10 out of 10? No. It's like a 9 out of 10. It's still really great. But as someone who doesn't particularly like those games, or I try to like them, but I just never beat them because they're just too fucking hard for me, this is one that I can't get enough of. Okay. And I love the open world. Like, dude, like, every time you kill a main boss, the world gets bigger. And it gets, like, a little bit, like, too much at times. Like, I remember yesterday, like, I didn't even know where the fuck I was going. I was just riding around on my horse, looking around, and I ran into a boss, and I'm like, cool. And then I like looked it up because I was like having trouble killing him, and I looked it up, and it's like, oh yeah, this is the next story boss. I'm like, oh cool, doesn't even tell me. I'm just okay. Like the other day, I fought a dragon. I didn't even need to, and I was kind of pissed because it took me forever to kill it. But so I love the game. It's the real deal. It's great, and if people review of it this week on Critics Play Games, I've recorded it. I just haven't put it up yet. So there's that.
All right. I'm not playing Elden Ring, but one of the funniest thing I've come across with that game is like the billboards on the bus stops here.
Yeah.
And you have a poster for it, and then it says story created by some guy and George R.R. Martin.
George R.R. Martin.
And then the one quote that supposedly comes from a critic, it says fucking amazing or something like that by George R.R. Martin. And it's the funniest shit. Kind of sus that he would like the game so much.
It's so funny though, because I get why they're marketing that he's a part of it, but there is no real story to it. Like, there's not a lot of cutscenes. Like, it's a lot of reading and lore. Like, it's one of those games where you have to read into the lore and the mythology. Like, there's cutscenes, but there's not a ton of it. Like, it's very much just this open world that you just run around. The lore and the mythology is great, but that's what George R. R. Martin created like 5 years ago. And then he was like, okay, have fun with the game. Like, that's exactly what he did, because he should still be writing the next Game of Thrones book that he'll probably never write. But,
there's still 2 books left. I'm still waiting. 12 years I've been waiting at this
He will never write them. He will never write them.
I know. When I say I'm still waiting, I'm not actively waiting. I'm not counting out the days because I've already given up. But I do want to read those books if they ever are released. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you know how this podcast, this show works. We're going to cover one of the big news topics this week. We're going to have a big discussion about it. And then on the latter half, There were so many big news breaking out this week, so make sure if you guys want to hear our thoughts on it, go to the live chat and we'll do our best to get to it on the back half of the show. Or, of course, you can guarantee that your question is answered by supporting us through the tip link or super chat, also in the description. Before that, of course, we got to do our weekly ranking. And Zach, you said you didn't watch too much, so why don't you get us started?
All right. And point of reference, I've liked everything I've watched this week, so whatever I mentioned last, don't take that as what it is. Coming in last place is The Atom Project. The perfect modern day Amblin movie. That's how I felt watching this. I just was like, this is a straight up thing that Steven Spielberg would have produced in the 80s. And it's a ton of fun. I have issues with certain things with the script, the villain, and the whole film just felt like watching.
The de-aging was awful. Man.
I have to be honest, that didn't bother me. I actually thought that I'm gonna be honest. I thought they got a different actress. I just was like, why is her face all fucked up? But that's probably why the de-aging was a thing. No, I actually had an issue with it. This movie felt like it was put on a soundstage, and it bothered the fuck out of me.
Felt that?
The entire forest. Every time they were in the forest, it bothered the shit out of me that was on a soundstage, and I could tell. Maybe they weren't, but it just bugged me. Like the plants looked so fake, and I don't know. That was like one thing, but overall, when I look at this movie, Ryan Reynolds and Walker, the younger version of him, perfect. Mark Ruffalo, awesome. Jennifer Gardner, great. The Ryan Reynolds and Jennifer Gardner bar scene is amazing.
Best scene of the movie, if you ask me.
Absolutely. And I told you, Ren, yesterday when we did our live stream, that was the scene that sold me that Sean Levy can do a Deadpool 3. And he is officially announced for that. I'm curious if it's still going to be rated R. Everything that I've heard is it's still rated R, so I'm going to cross my fingers on that one. But
they've already confirmed. I'm not even thinking about the rating.
I'll wait till it's official. Like actually,
it is official.
When the movie is out and it is R-rated, that's when I'll believe it. That's when I will believe it.
That depends on the MPA. They're going for R when making the film.
It's got a blood, guts, and fucking.
Well, I don't think it'll have a fucking, but it'll have blood and guts. I fully trust that.
But yeah, really, really enjoyed the Atom Project. And you'll cry during it, or you'll get pretty close to it. Just bring tears.
I did it.
Okay, you're heartless. Anyways, up next we have Turning Red. I really enjoyed Turning Red. This is a coming of age story that Pixar has not done before yet, and in the style of puberty. It's a very horny movie at times, so that's okay, because as someone who went through puberty, you're probably horny during that time, and that's okay. And I liked it. Yeah, see? And I like how this movie used the panda as a metaphor. I didn't expect that fully. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was a lot of fun. I had issues with small things towards the third act. But other than that, I couldn't get enough of this movie. I thought it was so much fun. Like, that's how I felt watching this movie. But at the same time, it's like Pixar made its version of 8th Grade and Lady Bird. Like, that's exactly what this movie felt like to me. And I don't know, Domi Shi, I can't wait to see what she does next. And it pisses me off once again that this was not in theaters, because the entire third act that felt like total anime, like Dragon Ball Z fighting type shit, which was just like right up my alley, and I fucking loved it. And it took me back to when Goku would turn into a giant monkey, and then people would have to fight him. And I don't know, that's kind of like what I got from this third act, and I just thought it was a lot of cool. So very, very entertaining. But at my number one, I went and saw this movie again last night with my grandmother and my aunt, and that is The Batman. They loved it. I loved it. 2022 has peaked so early, and it fucking sucks because I don't know. It's so good. And I saw it in Dolby again, and just the sound design, man, is impeccable. Like the car chase scene when the car, it just is so exciting. And I noticed something different this time. Not going to say where, not going to say when. You can see Riddler in a window looking down very early on.
Oh. I'm going to look out for that tonight.
Oh, you're going to see it again?
Yeah. Finally.
Let me see. I'm trying to remember where.
At this point, I've seen it over 2 weeks ago. So
I think it's
that's how long I've been waiting.
Okay. I think it's the first time that they go to the bar. And it's like an overhead shot that pans down. And it's up in the left-hand corner.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh, shit. Someone had told me about that, and I'm watching it, and I'm looking, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? That's attention to detail, man.
Yeah.
And, like, Jesus. I love this movie. It'll probably be my favorite film of the year. I don't know. It's perfect to me.
Don't worry about that for now. What matters is that you love it.
Yes, that is true. What about you, man? Let's hear your ranking.
All right. I have a ton to rank, starting at the very bottom, ladies and gentlemen. You told me about this, Zach. A lot of people told me about this, but I still had a ton of curiosity to check it out. The actor starring in it is one of my favorite actors. I'll always give it a shot. Blacklight. It's bad.
Boring.
Like a few weeks ago, we talked about how it'd be tough to beat Texas Chainsaw Massacre as the worst movie of the year. It's done. It's been beat.
Were me and James right? We told you all.
There's nothing good about it. It's not. Look, it's one of those films where it doesn't do everything that it does particularly awful. It's just plain bad. But when you look at the big picture, it's like, okay, it's plain bad, but there's nothing good about it. There's nothing serviceable about it. Everything about this film is bad. I'm not going to do a video. It's not worth it, but I have a full review on Letterboxd if you guys want to check it out. Link in the description.
Did you pay to watch this?
No.
Okay.
No. I did not.
Okay.
So, yeah. And over that, here comes the thing I want to talk to Zach about. I watched from beginning to end. I already seen all 12 episodes. The Cuphead Show.
Oh, I still haven't watched this.
Oh, you still haven't seen it? So
no, I love the game.
I haven't played the game. I know you love the game, so I just assumed you had seen the show. It has an identity crisis because sometimes it starts off setting up what feels like it's going to be the story. But then I would say it's about half and half. So 6 episodes.
What's the story it sets up? I'm just curious so I can see.
So they're out. They're supposed to paint the fence for Elder Kettle, and they go to this carnival, and skeet ball.
Mm-hmm.
So Cuphead starts playing skeet ball and winning. He's just winning. But then Mugman starts noticing, it says Soul Ball. And then he starts seeing all the other people, the animals and the instruments and the appliances, because there's all tons of weird creatures in this world, apparently. He starts to see that everyone is just kind of numb and a little bit without color. And this carnival is run by the devil, and every time you lose a game, he takes your soul. And so Cuphead is winning this until Mugman says, hey, you got to stop, and distracts him, so he loses. And then the devil comes to take his soul. Because he also noticed that nobody else was playing. No souls were coming in to hell. And then he went to take a peep, and nobody's playing games because they're all watching Cuphead winning this game constantly until he loses. So the devil comes for him. And then every other episode, it seems, they continue that story. But then there are also a ton of episodes that just feel like one-offs. Like,
are they fighting bosses? I'm just curious. Are they fighting bosses? Like fighting anyone?
It's just misadventures. Yeah.
All 12 episodes?
So here's the thing. Some episodes, they're like one-offs, old classic Looney Tunes cartoons. There's an episode that they find a baby on their front door. And then the baby is fucking insane and destroys everything. There's an episode where they listen to this radio show that they love, and then they stumble upon the studio, and the game show is run by King Dice, who works for the devil. Only one episode. He only shows up in one episode, and I know you love King Dice, so that's why I'm telling you right now.
This is interesting because, like, so
Okay.
I mean, I haven't watched the show yet because honestly, I just fucking forget it's even out, and it already got renewed for a season 2. I think coming later this
Yeah.
year. Which,
Yeah,
for people
and
who
it hangs
understand,
on a big cliffhanger, and that's another one of the issues because again, some episodes feels like it's continuing the story of the devil wants Cuphead's soul. And that's it. And whenever you go back to that story, it's fun.
which episodes
Then
were better?
they were both good in their own way, but in the context of this show, it seems like it's trying to be both things, and it doesn't
So
work
Boba
because
Fett?
you start with the setting up of the story, and then you have like 2 or 3 episodes that are just one-offs, completely disconnected, no referencing one another, and then you go back to the devil storyline, and then you have another with the devil storyline, and then a one-off. And then
What
a
they
one-off,
should
and then a
have
one-off.
done, so what they should have done is just done the story first, and
Mhm.
then done like a spin-off show of all the characters and the insanity that you can do. Because
I
there is a
don't know.
Looney
Either
Tunes, but
or.
there is a
Either
Looney
or.
Tunes aspect to it that I
Yeah,
can see that.
even in the episodes that follow the storyline, it's still very much Looney
But
Tunes.
see, that's where.
But I want to either it be one-off or be a story
So
that keeps
this is how
going.
the game goes. I can't remember. I do know that the devil takes his soul. I don't think it's from a game though. I think they make a deal with the devil. If I can't remember right, I'm pretty sure they make a deal
In
with
the
him.
show, he comes to a point where he makes a sweater that is impenetrable to the devil. The devil can't penetrate the sweater.
You can do something like that, but you have to buy
Okay.
it. So it's a side-scrolling old school game,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Mario, and you shoot and all this stuff. So, but you jump, do levels, and then at the end of each level, there's a boss, and the bosses are fucking impossible. Not impossible. I mean, you can beat them. They're just very, very hard. They are some of the
Okay.
I've never beaten the game because of them, and also
You've never
because
beaten the game.
yeah, because you know why, Ren? I got to the second to last boss and my game file corrupted and I fucking lost everything. And I said, yep,
damn.
I'm not doing that again. It's a ton of fun, but I just, nope, not a thing for me. So
Okay.
I love the game, but a lot of the game is that them going, and the bosses are the coolest thing, like fighting King Dice, fighting these frog guys with boxing gloves on. It is a really unique
Yeah, you have
thing.
an episode with those guys.
Are they fighting them or no?
They're not fighting them. The brothers just fight amongst themselves. The whole joke is, oh, you're saying it's my fault? So what if I am? And they start punching each other.
That's stupid, but anyways,
It's fun.
okay.
It's really fun.
I'll watch it. Maybe.
Yeah, so it's weird because then the final episode, not going to spoil anything, but the final episode is a one-off. Like, it's a completely different story where they meet this brand new character, but then that one-off ends in a cliffhanger. So now they have this completely detached story that apparently is going to continue. So yeah, Cuphead comes then. After that, Turning Red. I watched this last week, but since I wasn't here last week, we didn't have a show last week because I was out. Turning Red comes over Cuphead. I didn't like it as much as Zach did. I think it's a good movie. It is a good film. I just think the metaphors get a bit in the way of the story because they're so strong, they're so prevalent. I could have done without the high fantasy stuff in the third act that you brought up. The third act is where I'm like, okay, this is the direction we're going, I guess. Over that, I'm going to have The Adam Project. Really good movie, really surprised me, continues my love for Sean Levy. And yeah, it's I would put it like right on par with Free Guy. It's still no Real Steel. Real Steel is still his best film. And then, again, since I wasn't here last week and I couldn't rank it on the week prior to that because embargo, The Batman is my number one. This is my favorite film of the year. And by the way, I'm ranking every film I watched this year. So Letterboxd down there, there's a list for every film I've seen this year so far. And yeah, go check those out. I forgot a movie
you watched. Yep.
Okay.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. What do you think of it?
I watched that a few weeks ago. Yeah, I
you
really
did?
liked it. I really liked
You never ranked it, so I never knew.
No, I didn't. Maybe I watched it prior to. Yes, because I watched it. So we did a show on the 25th, 24th, 25th, 26th. We did a show on the 26th, and maybe I watched it that evening. So after the show, and then last week we didn't have one. So good call, good call. All right. Before we start our discussion, Movie Fan shares his weekly ranking. Number 1, The Batman. Number 2, The Kingsman. Number 3, Uncharted. Number 4, Shiva Baby.
Are you
number
fucking
5,
kidding me? Shiva Baby that fucking low?
Number 4,
over below The Kingsman? That movie's a piece of shit.
Nah, I don't agree. I would rank it over Uncharted, but not over The Kingsman. The Kingsman is really fun. The Desperate Hour I'm not familiar with. But other than that,
The Darkest Hour.
No. I don't know. Let us know, Movie Fan, but I don't know. Because if he means The Darkest Hour, that's where I flip off, because that one should be a number 2, right behind the Batman. All right. Let's go. Luis Feliciano, weekly ranking. And I love the photo, dude. Love the shirt, love the hat. Weekly ranking. Number 4, Turning Red. Number 3, Encanto. Number 2, West Side Story. And number 1, The Batman. And I agree exactly with this ranking, Luis. That's exactly how I rank those 4. Tony Movie Chappie. Number 6, Rain Man. Number 5, Jerry Maguire. Number 4, Taken. Number 2, unrated version. And 3, Lost in Space. Wait. Oh, number 4, Taken 2, unrated version, and 3, Lost in Space, episodes 1 and 2 is still a show I need to watch. Of season 1. Number 2, The Adam Project, and number 1, The Batman. I'd have Rain Man as my number 2 on this one. Then The Adam Project, then Jerry Maguire, and then Taken 2 in last place. Thank you for sharing. Joe Fletcher. Number 4, The Tragedy of Macbeth. Number 3, Shazam. Number 2, Doctor Sleep. And number 1, The Batman rewatch.
There's a thing keeps happening here. They keep playing. Everyone keeps saying The Batman's their number 1.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's that good. I would definitely. I would just change Shazam and The Tragedy of Macbeth for me.
Oh, I know what movie fans talking about. The Desperate Hour used to be called Lakewood with Naomi Watts. I saw that. I reviewed it.
Oh, I did not.
It was I saw it at TIFF.
Okay. Was it good?
Great concept for the first 30 minutes, and then.
Okay, so no. Lady Aaron, number 4, American Idol season 20. Number 3, American Idol season episode 1 and then episode 2. Number 2, the Sparks documentary, and number 1, Annette. I've only seen one of these. I'll probably only ever see one of these, and that is Annette, so I can't comment on what I changed, but thank you for sharing, Aaron.
You should watch the doc. I know you're not a fan of docs, neither am I.
I was leaving myself to watch it if it got nominated for Best Documentary, and it didn't.
You should still watch it, though. It's Edgar Wright. It feels like an Edgar Wright movie.
Maybe one day. I just don't want to promise anything. Number 1, The Batman. Jack Alexander, by the way. Number 1, The Batman. Number 2, Titan. Number 3, Flea. I have Flea. I still need to find.
So good.
Number 4, Nobody. I was very busy this week, so I didn't get to watch much. 4 movies, dude. That's more than enough, and one of them is 3 hours long too. So I haven't seen Flea, but outside of that, it's exactly how I'd rank it: The Batman, Titan, and then Nobody.
That's how I'd rank it too.
Any others? I think we're done. No, here it is. Eric Thorpe. My weekly ranking. Number 1, The Batman, 3rd and 4th watch. And then number 2, Batman Hush. Number 3, Spencer. And number 4, Turning Red. The Batman and Spencer are very close for me. So Spencer would definitely be my number 2, but it's tight between those two. Then Batman Hush and then Turning Red. I agree with that. Zach, do you agree? Would you change anything?
I haven't seen Batman Hush yet, so
okay.
But I'd agree with it overall.
Alrighty then. So we are done with weekly rankings. If I missed anything, please let us know in the chat. Zach will be on the lookout if we missed anything. But without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to our topic at hand, because early this week, on my birthday, this past Monday,
they did this on purpose. They did that on purpose.
They watched the show. They knew They were like, we gotta be the main topic on the next show when they have their big comeback. And so they dropped the news that Prime Video is working on developing a God of War TV series with the team behind The Expanse working on it.
And Wheel of Time.
And Wheel of Time, yes, which is
Which I've
also a
watched
Prime
neither.
show. So number one, it shows you that they love the Wheel of Time. They love what these people are doing with the Wheel of Time. And The Expanse was a show that was canceled. I don't remember where it was before.
Sci-Fi, I think.
Sci-Fi?
I think it was Sci-Fi.
It was canceled, and Amazon then saved its life, brought it back for 2 or 3 seasons. I think it might have been 2, but it could be 3. I don't remember. It was a show I really loved for a while. I just fell out of it because just watched too much things and then got to cover other things and whatnot. But when I watched it, and now I certainly need to get back on it because now it's over, The Expanse was one of my favorite sci-fi shows. If you guys haven't seen The Expanse, I fully recommend it. You might
Is it
see
sci-fi? I've never seen it.
Now it's on Prime. Everything
is
is on
sci-fi
Prime.
though?
Yes, it's
like
sci-fi.
Is it a sci-fi show? Okay.
It's a cerebral sci-fi. It's very much political. It's about society. It's basically in the future where we expand, no pun intended, we expand beyond Earth. We go and live on Mars, and we start to create different societies.
That's cool.
It's really, really cool. You get into all the political workings of it, all the cultural workings. Then they're like, at one point, there are people who are humans, but they're born on Mars. So then
this makes me interested to see what they're gonna do with God of War, because it feels like they also built up Wheel of Time from the 2 episodes I watched. So
yeah, and you might see a random Simu popping in as a background character because he wasn't too big at the time. Because it's like in the 1st or 2nd season. I don't even remember seeing him there. I just saw the credits and I was like, oh,
yeah.
And Amma from Kim's Convenience is also there at one point, also playing a smaller character. So you guys know that God of War is my favorite video game franchise. You guys know, I just talked about this yesterday when Zach did a live on his channel, that Prime Video is my favorite streaming service. I think they're the most consistent with their quality of shows and movies. They just, for the most part, their batting average is very, very, very successful. So they're a streaming service I am really a big fan of. The question is, given that just recently we've had a brand new video game adaptations, and we discussed the ups and downs of it up until this day, the evolution of it per se, should we be excited? I have a couple of pros. I have a couple of cons with this. One of my pros is that I think they have an incredible creative team behind it. I think they made the right decision in making it a show. I don't know if Prime is the home for it, to be honest.
Where would you have taken it?
I would have taken it to HBO.
That is true.
It feels like HBO is the right fit, not only amongst its catalog, but in terms of the story it's telling, the tone of it. Look, Jeff Bezos is shitting right now. He's literally shitting more money than you and I will ever have in our life.
Oh, and that's the thing. You know the show will finish.
Yeah.
It won't get canceled. This show will finish.
They have money for days. They have The Wheel of Time. They have Lord of the fucking Rings. Now they want this.
The Boys.
And so I could be... The Boys is one of my
favorite shows. And don't forget, they've
currently
also announced they're doing a Fallout video game series.
Yeah, that's
with
true.
The creators of Westworld. They're also doing a Mass Effect series. I don't remember who the writer on that one is, but again, that's 2. This is their 3rd video game series they've grabbed. So,
but we haven't seen any of their supposed video game series. So for now, I'm not counting it. It's a good point to bring up, though. Another con that I have, or rather, this is not a con, but it's a possible con. And I don't know if you're going to agree, but I think you're at least going to understand. Which God of War are they going to give us?
I agree. That's what I was thinking.
Because I would unfortunately bet on them starting right off with the 2018 God of War, which is a great game. It has a great story. Does it touch the original trilogy? Looks like I'm talking about Star Wars now. Does it touch the original trilogy? No, not at all. I think the original trilogy, I think you absolutely need that original trilogy, that original story of Kratos and his obsession and his ambitious and his ambition and his rage and his hatred and his whole relationship and dynamics with the gods to then earn that story that is told in God of War 2018. Look, if they officially announce that we're going to start from the first game, we're going to tell the story of Kratos in Greece as a general, becoming the God of War, the ups and downs of all that, and exploring the realms of Olympus and of ancient Greece and all that, I'll be 1,000,000% on board. The moment they say that, up until I see something that deters my enthusiasm, I'll be fully on board. Right now, I want to be excited. This is a property I love more than anyone else, believe me. But I don't know if they're going to take the right route, per se. Zach, what are your thoughts on it? Why am I wrong? Why am I right? Why do you agree? Why do you disagree? What are the pros and cons?
I have a lot of ideas on this. So first off, I believe this could have worked as a movie or a TV show. It doesn't matter to me what it was going to be, movie, TV. The only big pro about TV is it's going to be R-rated. That's the good thing. Mm-hmm. That's the thing I'm happy about, because God of War is R-rated. If you would have announced this as a movie, I fully, honestly don't believe it would have been R, just because it's Sony. I think it would have ended up being PG-13, probably a little bit more.
Tom Holland as Kratos.
That too, probably. So there's that. The next thing you mentioned HBO and Amazon. I think it could work at either or. Obviously HBO right now has Last of Us. I know Sony's probably just shipping it around, probably seeing who can get them the most money, maybe. Yeah. I'll be honest, out of all the Sony exclusives though, that they're most likely going to make into a series, like Twisted Metal, which is insane, is going to Peacock, I think, which is okay. Which Twisted Metal is a cool thing, but I don't know how that works. But Horizon Zero Dawn, that I can almost guarantee will go to HBO. That entire world,
one, I think, like on a surface level, and I haven't played it. Like I just have a visual idea of what it is. But that one to me does fit with Prime.
I'll tell you right now, it's Game of Thrones. It's literally Game of Thrones in some aspects. With the way with it, HBO would probably be the best bet for me. Again, Prime also could be great, but I think HBO could give it the realm that it needs. And again, this is me talking because I've not finished Wheel of Time. It wasn't really my cup of tea, but I liked what I saw. And I'm very interested to see Lord of the Rings, because I think Lord of the Rings is going to make me either more excited for this or less excited. Now, even though it's not the same creative heads, it just will show me what are they doing. Can they do their own big fantasy? Because there's something that I've been saying, besides The Witcher, every other fantasy show that Netflix or a lot of these other streaming services have created have not worked because they feel fake. They feel fake.
You're wrong on that one, and I'll tell you why. Because I loved a certain fantasy show, and I know you. Maybe you didn't love it as much as me, but I remember you really liked it too. Shadow and Bone.
I liked it. I didn't love it though. And my biggest issue with that, it just felt fake to me. The entire thing felt fake to me. And I don't know why. There's so, like, I'll be even honest with you, the first season of The Witcher, part of it felt fake to me. The second season didn't feel, because the budget was a little bit higher, so it didn't but I don't know what it is. Like, I think I was spoiled with Game of Thrones, with how fucking grand those budgets were, how big and like, it felt like a movie. And I also did get to see Game of Thrones 2 of the episodes in theaters. I don't remember which season it was. I think it was maybe season 6. It was fucking great. But God of War. The last thing I want to mention is, you know me. my favorite God of War game is the newest one, the 2018 one. I was blown away with it, and I've always loved God of War. God of War 3 is fucking great. God of War 3 is a fucking masterpiece. That is a trilogy that they should remaster with better graphics to really bring a lot. Because I was trying to replay
because they already did for the PS3 that they did. Then they remastered God of War 3 for the PS4. I wanted the trilogy back now.
Yeah. Me too. And that's the thing.
Side note, I still remember when I bought the third one originally, where we had just not just because it was 2010, but we were still in the PS3 era, and it looked better by far than any other game that came out at that time. But yeah, that's my sound.
No, I remember. I just went back to it actually, the third one, and beat it again. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, these graphics are still great, but they're not as good as I remember them being when I first played it. But they're a little old school. But I love the original. And I'll be honest, I think they are going to start with 2018, which I don't love. But if they do that, I don't like flashbacks in a show. But if you write it well, you can give the pass. But I will be honest.
The book of Kratos Fett.
Yeah. But I'll be honest, if they're smart, they need to start with that original one. Because like my friend who, for instance, let's say this. My friend who's not in the video games got the 2018 version because he just there's no way he can get the original trilogy. He's never had a PS2, he never had the PS3, but he got a PS4. Wow. So he's able to play God of War 4, and he loved it. But he told me, he goes, like, when he gets the blades, he didn't get it. He didn't get what like the big thing about that was. And I was telling him, I was like, well, that's part of like the entire original trilogy. And so then he actually went. PS4 allows you to like kind of go back now and play some. So he went back and played some. And he goes, these games are cool. So my hope would be it's a 3-season show. First season is 1 and 2 put together. I feel like you'd be able to probably write that in a 10-episode arc if they're each an hour long. Because God of War is more than just brutality and beating the shit out of things. There's a lot of emotion to it.
I think 2 you maybe can get done in half a season, but I think 1 and 3 are pretty big.
3 has to be an entire season.
3 has to be an entire season for sure. But I think 2 is like the shortest of them all. I think you can get 2 done in.
Oh, really?
Well, I rounded it up to like a half a season, but I'd say like, let's say every season is like 10 episodes for the sake of argument. I think you can get number 2 done in like 7.
Plus, also, we don't know what liberties they'll be taking with it. What other characters they might develop more. Yeah, so maybe
they'll start before when he actually has a family.
Which would be cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind that because, again, Last of Us is expanding on what they weren't able to do. And I have a feeling the entire first episode will be Joel and Sarah, like their relationship. Like, I think it'll be something like that. And then it ends with something. Yeah. So, yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm still fan casting Yahya Abdul-Mateen II to play Kratos. Because I think he would just fucking kill it. He is ripped. I think he's in the right age range to where if you start him now, by the time they do the 2018 version, you give him a beard, you give him all that, he would be completely fine. And I think he has the right everything for it. But and that's the thing, is that you need a guy who has the physicality as well as can bring great acting to Kratos. Because again, whatever you want to say about the first 3 movie or games, the 4th game is a dramatically different take on the franchise.
100%.
And I mean, again, if you read into the lore and mythology and Kratos itself, it's an emotional tale. It's a revenge tale in a sense. It's an entire revenge story. The 4th game is a grieving story, a mourning, and as well as like a father-son story. And it's really fucking emotional, but it doesn't hit that hard if you don't have the original 3. So I love this choice. I'm nervous, but very excited. I think, again, obviously Sony's the one putting a lot of stuff behind this because it's their PlayStation studio. They have a lot of stuff in development. Ghost of Tsushima, Sly Cooper.
That's right.
Is
Sly Cooper still alive?
They're doing an animated thing. I can't remember. And then Jack and Daxter's now rumored.
I mean, I wouldn't bet on Sly Cooper being live action.
No, that'd be Cats all over again, man. But
Oof.
which, dude, you know what studio I'd love to see do an animated version of Sly Cooper? I want you to try and guess. Who did Kubo and the Two String? Oh, sorry.
Oh, Laika.
Yeah, I'd love to see.
You think it would work with stop motion?
Fuck yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think it would be so unique and cool. If
not games I ever played, so but just curious.
Oh, really? They're really great. Did you play Jack and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank? I'm just curious.
Also, no. Also, neither of those. My like the PlayStation originals I was into was Spyro and Crash. Because I remember the first time I even heard of Sly Cooper was a commercial for like the third game, I think.
They're really good.
Yeah. So I had never heard of those before. I'm with you, man, because look, I'm a big fan of mythology. My personal favorite is Greek mythology. I also love Norse, don't get me wrong. That's why a big part of why I love Thor.
You know what they've talked about doing next, right? Because you know how this next game is ending the Norse story. Do you know what the next
is Egyptian?
Which is okay.
Yeah,
that's gonna be
my third favorite.
Yeah, same. So I was like, okay.
But yeah, I think it works. And plus, Greek mythology is something most people are more acquainted to. Like most people could name you, not all maybe, but like the Olympus 12. Like most people, like even if they're not hardcore into mythology, they could name you Zeus and Hades and Poseidon, and they could name you the most famous god. When you go into Norse mythology, it starts to get tricky. People start to be able to name Thor and Odin and Loki because of the Marvel thing.
Yeah,
but not too much beyond that. If you go to Egyptian, I think even less. Or maybe it's on the same level, because like what can people name on Egyptian mythology? Like we're talking about general audience. They can name Ra, Set, Osiris. Even that, I don't know if they can name all of those. I think Ra and Set are that. Maybe Anubis ends up being the most famous. But yeah, I really hope they start us off with a trilogy, because like we were talking about, even if you do one game per season or one season per game, you can get the trilogy done in 3 seasons. And most TV shows, unless they're canceled, obviously, most TV shows, if they're good, if the audience watches it and they're not forced to cancel it, they can very well run for like 5-6 seasons, and then it starts to stretch. But up till like 5-6, I think every TV show is solid, is good, it has a story to tell. And God of War, really good, because like particularly in 2018, for instance, Zach, there's a ton of walking around to this place to find this item to then go back and get something.
Yeah.
Something that you need to go to the mission. So if anything, God of War 2018 is the one you can trim the most stuff out and do a show, not a game, a show. So I think 2018, and then with Ragnarok coming out, which I can't wait for them to announce the pre-order, because I'm going to pre-order that bad boy so bad.
He's pre-ordering that big edition though, right? With me,
that big edition,
whatever it is.
Baby. You know it. It's going to be in Portugal. It's not going to be here. Because it's probably going to be.
Do you have the statue from the other one? Because I have the statue of like Kratos
back
Atreides.
in Portugal, but yeah, I do have it.
That one's so
remind
cool.
me in the summer when I go back. You guys have to remind me in the summer to show it off.
To do a room tour. No, do a room tour. A room tour.
But I'll show the statue on the show on my hand. But yeah, I hope they start with the trilogy, because that's the groundwork. That's how you get to know who this character was before he has an evolution, before he completes his arc. When you compared it to Boba Fett, though, it reminded me that one of the things that really damaged Boba Fett was that we had been with this character before, and now we're going back to a time where it doesn't matter. Like, God of War, if they start in 2018, they frame it as like a father sitting down with his son. Maybe you have that confrontation with Baldur, but in the show, I'm not saying this is how I want to do it. I'm not saying this is how they should do it. I'm not saying it's better than how they did it in the game. But let's say you start off in 2018, you go get the woods, you get home, Baldur is there, you have the big confrontation, but Atreus sees it.
That entire sequence in the game
but
is so good.
Atreus sees it, and he asks, hey, what happened? And right then and there, he decides to sit down with his son and say, hey, I wasn't always a good man. And then we go back to a little bit of the first game, and we leave on a big cliffhanger for season 1 and the entirety of season 1. The context, the framing is this guy's telling his son.
The only thing I'll say about that is the fact that you have that approach with Baldur, and then the rest of the season is that there's gonna be that fan base or like people who are like, okay, well, what the fuck did he just do right there?
It's a fair point.
So it's a risk to do that. Again, they can do it.
You can, if you do it this way. However, you don't, like, one of the things you can make it work is he tells the story a little bit, then they have to leave, and while they're on the boat, the sections where they're on the boats,
then
you continue the story. If they do that, though, it might get a bit jumbled, like Boba Fett did, because then you spend a lot of parts in the flashbacks, so then you fall into that trap again. So to me,
the smartest approach is every season. Don't do God of War Ascension. That game fucking sucks. Just do 1, 2, and 3.
It has a good story, but as a game, it didn't bring anything new.
Yeah.
Like you can do, like don't do Chains of Olympus or Ghost.
No, I think they just need to do the first 3. Like the other ones, like you could mention or maybe bring aspects
do like Netflix is doing with The Witcher. Do those side games as animated movies.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That'd be fun.
Or they just did The Boys Diabolical.
Yeah, they did the boy exactly. I really like your Yaya casting, by the way, but I'd still go Jason Momoa. I'd still go Jason,
and that's another one. I would really love Jason to do it. I would.
I just don't see Jason shaving his head.
That's. I think
now watch him shave. I think he would, but there's a part of him and a part of us, the fan base, that would die a little bit because Momoa is the guy.
To be honest, I have one more. Now he's older. I don't know. I think.
Yeah, it's because he's at this point.
If they start 2018,
I'm not mistaken.
If they start 2018, it's fine. I think personally.
But it also takes a lot away.
Yeah.
Just do Jason or Yaya because they're younger. You have more time. You don't need to worry about recasting it.
For me, it's Yaya. I
think
Yaya.
Go to a guy who's not even 30, but maybe looks like he's older than he actually is.
Do you think they're gonna go unknown, or do you think they're gonna find someone who's?
I think they're gonna find someone. I think they're gonna find someone, and then everyone else will probably be an unknown, and then for some of the gods, they'll get like a big name,
like a Russell Crowe or a Russell Crowe's playing. Isn't he playing Zeus in Thor 4? Is that a thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Why not make a joke out of it?
Yeah. Or
remember what the guy
we actually get Arnold to be Zeus since he was in that stupid commercial.
I don't know if that one works, but remember the guy Tarantino got to play Charles Manson, and there was also Charles Manson in Mindhunter. Why not? It happens. Let me just take a look. Actors under 35. Let's go under 35 to look as young as we can. Zach, you and I will say. I
looked up some fan casting, by the way. You ready for some of it?
Yeah, bring it.
I don't know how I haven't read them all. I haven't read these yet. I literally just pulled up the first article. That's the newest one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said Hugh Jackman for an older Kratos. That's what I thought.
Old.
Gerard Butler, too old. Back in the day, would have been fucking.
Back in the day, he was my choice. For sure.
Jason Momoa, we kind of talked about that. John Berthnall.
Don't see it.
I don't think he's big enough. I know he can get bigger, but
he can get big enough, but not quite the same type of intensity.
Dave Bautista, we've mentioned.
Too
I think would be
old.
good older. Dwayne Johnson, no.
Too
No.
old.
He's too old, but my problem with it is, and I love Dwayne, I don't see the depth that he can go to with that character yet. I mean,
I think
Black
he
Adam
could
might
give it.
change my mind.
I think he'd be. I think that would give him the opportunity to show everyone else he can do it. He can do it if you guys watch Snitch or Faster.
Yeah.
But also, by the way, now that you bring up Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, this kills our speculation that he could be talking about God of War when he talked about
I
doing
think
a
he's.
video game movie.
I told you, I think he's doing
movie.
Fortnite. I really do think.
I know we discussed it. One of my predictions was God of War. I'm just saying, kills that rumor.
I know. Okay, so 2 more. Tom Hardy.
I can see it, but it might just be on that line where he starts to be too old right now. Tom Hardy.
And then the last one. Did you ever watch Vikings? I never did.
Travis Fimmel?
Yeah, that's the one.
I think it might be too old as well, because Tom Hardy is 44. Doesn't look it, but he's 44 right now. Let me see. Jason Momoa age.
I think he's 38.
He's 42. He's 42, so he's a little bit older than I thought.
How old Yaya? How old Yaya? I'm just curious.
Fimmel. Travis Fimmel is also 42, and then Yaya Abdul Mateen II. Yaya has got to be in the 35. He's right on the line. So Yaya is probably the best age-wise.
And he's fucking ripped. He doesn't even have to get in shape anymore.
No. Like this guy was also in Vikings. He's also in Heels now. Alexander Ludwig. The guy has the height. He has the build. I think even with the beard and all, I think he might just look a little bit too much of a baby face still. But if they give him the role, I know he has the acting chops to do it. Do you have like any other castings for any characters that you like to see?
I'm really curious to see who they would do as Hades. I think that's the one that I was always fascinated with the underworld element.
Has got to be just a monster. Because at the time, I remember I was slightly disappointed at first with how they did Hades. Because I think of Hades as like this eloquent Ray Fiennes, because he played Hades in the Clash of Titans movies, which I like more than most people, by the way. But I always think of Hades as a like sophisticated, eloquent guy, and not just this big monster. But with time, I learned to appreciate that interpretation of the god of the underworld.
I want to ask you, when do you think we'll actually get this show?
Because at this point, they've just greenlit it. They associated a creative team with it.
But for all we know, they might have already been.
Maybe. At the very earliest, late 2024. I hope I'm wrong, but at the very earliest, late 2024. Yeah. Because, yeah. That's when I see it. And yeah, I think that's it for us. I think I don't have anything more to add. Do you have anything more to add, Zach?
The only thing I'll say is that I love that streaming services are taking in video games. Like Netflix is officially getting Bioshock. I'm really, really like praying that they just take the script that Gore Verbinski made and just bring Gore back to do that film to the way he wanted to, because that script was Bioshock. That is like
Bioshock.
No, Bioshock. And that's what I want. So I am happy that a lot of these streaming services are getting these games and making them into movies. And I'm curious to see like what they do next. Like Halo is coming out this month. I can't say anything. I've seen the first 2 episodes.
I will be seeing it early, by the way.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask you if you needed the email, because I got them last night.
No, because Paramount Plus is about to launch here. So
sweet.
The contacts, they want as many people they can covering their stuff. So I've just been in talks with the rep from there.
Okay. Yeah. I can't wait to talk about that. But like Gears of War is the other one that if Dave Bautista, by the way, was going to do a video game, it's Gears of War. He's been wanting to do it forever. He's a skin in the fucking game, and he wants. I know he's talked about Zack Snyder, him wanting Zack Snyder to do it. So,
and Zack Snyder would have been a great director for God of War as well.
Oh yeah, he would have, and maybe he still does it. You never know. They might bring him in for
one
episode.
On Netflix. Do you want to come to Prime?
Yeah,
he says, "Fuck yes."
I don't think he legally can though. Doesn't he have a deal with Netflix right now?
I think he has a deal like everything he writes. Netflix at least has a
Okay,
first
okay.
look deal. But if they want to have him as a director on God of War, not as a writer, not as a showrunner, but as a director for a few episodes, they could.
Okay, makes sense.
But yeah, those are our thoughts on God of War. The good, the bad. Hopefully, it all turns out for the best. But we want to hear your thoughts, and we want to hear your questions. So now we are going to go into your live questions, my friends. And remember, feel free to throw everything you want, everything you can. Give us some good questions, some meaty questions in the live chat, and we'll do our best to get to it. We can't guarantee that we'll answer every question. But if you want to guarantee your question is answered, throw a donation through the tip link or through the super chat feature below. Without any further ado, let's start with this one because it's an interesting question. Can we talk spoilers for the Batman? I say we're still in that, like, next week, when we do the show next week, totally fine. If by next week you have not seen the Batman, we got to talk about it. But for today, you can talk spoilers for the Batman. Just let us know right away. Spoilers for the Batman. So we can let everyone else know to maybe mute for a while, maybe skip if they're listening to us on Spotify. Just let us know right away. Start with Batman spoiler and then feel free to ask your question. Alrighty then. Do you agree, Zach?
I think it's free game, but that's just me.
All right. Luis Feliciano, Ren and Zach, your thoughts on WB moving everything again?
Knew this was going to be asked.
Yeah. Super Pets and Black Adam, I honestly don't see too much to worry about when it comes to those. It's a bigger move than you would think, but it's essentially they're just looking at the new dates because they moved a ton of other stuff, and that other stuff we need to talk about. But Black Adam and Super Pets specifically, it's fine. Not too worried about it. They just saw a better business opportunity in those dates. Flash, Aquaman, that is it, right? That's and then they moved Shazam up. Shazam up, it's a good sign because it shows they have confidence in it, but at the same time they put it in a murderer's row of a release date, fighting against Avatar 2. Like, poor David F. Sandberg. He even joked about how James Cameron would be shaking in his boots. The guy just has a fun sense of humor about it. But it's not a fun position where they put him. I'll say that. But also, when it comes to Aquaman and the Flash, my friends, you guys know Zach and I know a ton of stuff. As Flash, we continue to have reasons to worry about that film. Aquaman, it is mostly VFX. And to be fair, Flash, a lot of it is VFX stuff. It's a lot of post-production that they just need more time. But Flash, keep worrying about the Flash. If you're worried about the Flash, keep worrying about the Flash. That's all I'll say. Zach?
You're not wrong. My thoughts overall, dumb that they had that. I don't know if you had that trailer during the Batman where it says, sorry, excuse me.
The world
DC
needs
20.
heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact they played it again yesterday.
Because
and my grandmother,
Zach, remember, the only time I've seen the Batman, I didn't get trailers.
my grandmother yesterday was like, "Oh, that the Flash, that looks cool." I'm like, "Oh, they got pushed back." She looked at me. She goes, "Why the fuck is it in a trailer then?" Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. Okay. Aquaman, I fucking knew was moving. There's no way you're gonna release 2 water movies on the same exact day. I'm not shook by that. I think March is a good. They just saw how good the Batman did. I think they know
March
Aquaman
is a good date. 10
yeah,
years,
it is
10 years, 10 days after a certain birthday.
So smart to put
birthday.
It there. I think there's a lot of reasons they moved this shit though, and one is time. James Wan has talked about how they are racing to the finish line on this movie.
Yeah.
And just moving it to March probably gave them a lot more time. The Flash probably also could have moved to March, but they put it in what, June? Is that right? June, July?
I think they put it in June. I'll check.
So they put it in June, and smart because one, it was releasing the week before Black Panther 2. if Black Panther 2 actually comes out, which probably
June
won't.
23rd.
Okay, so it's releasing then.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing with the Flash is, there's no way it's just visual effects of shots though. The film's been done shooting for a while. For that long, it's either I don't know. I think they're going back to reshoot stuff. That's personally my opinion. I don't think they're going to be honest with that. But the other reason I think they moved that stuff is, and I think you guys need to remember this, is Discovery is merging and taking over Warner Brothers. Now, legally, they cannot be saying anything, but they might be like, hey, you still want a job here? You know, you should move those movies. Not saying you should, but this is what I would do if I still wanted a job at Warner Brothers. And I'm sure there's been some peddling around that. And honestly, it makes sense. If you did not have these two movies in 2023, there was only 2 DC movies coming out next year. It was Batgirl on HBO Max, and it was Shazam.
Batgirl is this year. It still is this year.
Everything I've heard, it's not. It's moved.
They haven't moved it. So until they move it.
Yeah, but they need that film. That film
has
to
come
come
out
after
the Flash. Yeah,
it has to come out after the Flash.
Which is why I'm shocked they didn't move it yet. It's just going to make him look worse when they end up moving it again.
Oh, I know. So it's like, why didn't you move everything at the same time, I guess?
Except Flash.
But again, that's another movie that is still filming right now. That film needs more time.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I don't know. Very frustrating. At least the Batman's great. But again, I feel like they moved the Flash and Aquaman into 2023 as more of a, hey, these are going to be 2 big selling movies. Let's do that. And I think moving Shazam up makes sense because Shazam's been done. They have test screened this fucking thing 3 times now. And it's all visual effects. They've done the reshoots. They are literally just working visual effects now. That is it. So, and I also think it's smart because I think this shows that they believe in Black Adam. And I think Black Adam's going to release in October, be fucking awesome. And then Warner Brothers, there's probably going to be something after the credits to Shazam or some teaser. By then, they'll have a Shazam trailer out. Everyone will see Black Adam and be like, oh my God, I can't wait to see Shazam 2. And then Shazam 2 releases.
Here's hoping it's better than the first.
I hate you, but it's okay. But anyways,
don't you want it to be better than the first as much as you love
absolutely,
the first?
absolutely.
Well,
then
we agree.
So, but then you go into December and you have that, and you have Avatar. Now, Avatar is going to make a fuck ton of money. I think what they're banking on here is that Shazam, they're going to do the same money that Jumanji, Aquaman, and Bumblebee did one Christmas, where 2 of those movies made $1 billion, and one movie made like $500 to $700 million, which is like pretty much what it needed to make. I think Bumblebee, but I think they're hoping that Shazam's going to do that. It's smart. If I was them, I would move Shazam back 1 more week, maybe 2, to exactly Christmas Day.
Yeah, you definitely don't want 1 week after Avatar.
Yeah, or the week before, or 2 weeks before.
If you want to go the week before.
Yeah, like just go out, get your money, and then let Avatar come out, and just let Shazam take its money bit by bit. That's the smarter decision, in my opinion. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts.
70 Scott's weekly ranking. Number 6, Voices of the Stone. Never heard of it. Number 5, The Matrix Resurrections. That's rough. Number 4, Resident Evil 2002. Number 3, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Number 2, TMNT Secret of the Ooze. And number 1, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Unpopular opinion, Secret of the Ooze is better than the original. Other than that, I think I pretty much agree with all you said, except I don't know what Voices of the Stone is. Zach, anything to add?
Nope.
All right. Nathan Holton, thoughts on Shazam coming out in 2022? We already addressed this one. Do you think Rachel Zegler will have a big role in the movie? I know she has a big role in the film. Like I have no idea if it's big in terms of screen time, but in terms of importance, she has a very pivotal role. And I would bet that she has a lot of screen time. Zach?
Cool, I hope so.
Okay. Ooh, where does the Batman rank in your favorite comic book movies? For me, it's the best comic book movie ever made, and in my top 10 movies of all time. Zach?
You share first because I'm actually gonna bring up my letterbox.
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I would wager, like off the top of my head, I think I would very much include it in my top 10 of all time. My top 10 of all time, Batman Begins is there. The Dark Knight is there. Man of Steel is there. Avengers, Avengers Endgame, Civil War, Infinity War, and we start to get tight. Logan. I don't know if I said Logan already.
You didn't
I
say
don't think
Logan
so.
yet, no.
Um,
Days of
the
Future Past. I know
Batman.
you love Days of Future
Days
Past.
of Future Past. I'd probably put it in there.
Did you say Man of
Off
Steel?
the,
Did you say
yeah,
Man of Steel?
off the
Okay.
top of my head, those are the ones.
This is mine right now.
Spider-Verse also belongs there.
Yeah.
Suicide
Spider-Verse is
Squad,
still my
I
number
don't have on
one.
mine.
But yeah, this is
Guardians definitely
mine.
not on
Kind of
mine.
moving down.
Um,
This is mine.
Hellboy 2 is
I
great.
love Hellboy 2. Kick-Ass, Man of Steel.
Yeah.
But yeah, this
I
this
think
is
so. I think it's safe to say I would have Batman in my top 10. Don't know which position. Again, I haven't thought about it. Maybe next year for my 30th, I'll put a video on the day. This is my top 30 favorite comic book movies of all time. But I would wager the Batman is in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Almost for sure.
For sure, man. For sure. But yeah, that's it.
Is it weird that I'm excited about the Batman even though I've never seen any Batman movie prior to this? It's weird that you've never seen any Batman movie. How is that possible? Ren Zach, should I see the Batman as my first Batman movie or not? And if not, which ones should I watch? Watch the Dark Knight trilogy. Don't bother watching it.
I don't even think it matters. If you want to make this your first one, go ahead. If you want to make the Dark Knight trilogy
you don't
your first
have
one,
to. You don't need to watch any other Batman movie beyond that before this one. But if you want to watch any Batman movie before this, Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah, the older movies really don't hold up too well. I just got done rewatching them. They're fun for what they are, as long as you remember.
Like the original '89 Batman is not very interested in the character of Batman. The second one is also not very interested in the
but at least it's better.
Batman. So it's a little bit better because it's more interested than the '89 one, but it's still not very interested.
I didn't think
the Batman Forever is the best Batman-focused movie, but as a movie as a whole, it's very mixed bag. And then you have Batman and Robin, which is amazing for all the wrong reasons. So if you want to watch anything, watch the Dark Knight trilogy. If not, you're all good making the Batman your first. I'm just shocked you have never seen any Batman movie, not even the animated ones. Mask of the Phantasm is also a great one to watch. Nathan Holton, are you excited for the upcoming live-action Disney films such as Snow White? So am I excited for some of the upcoming Disney live-action films? Yes, because I like the majority of them until now. For Snow White specifically, not really, no. Because I am not a big fan of Mark Webb. I think Gal Gadot as the Evil Queen is a horrible choice. Rachel Zegler is great. I've only seen her in one thing, but the one thing I've seen her in, she's great. But I still need reasons to be excited. Zach, how about you?
I don't really like the casting of Gal. Like, I love her as an actress, but that one doesn't really sell me. But I'm excited to see what they do, I guess.
All right. The one I'm most excited for at the moment, off the top of my head, that I know it's coming, is Peter and Wendy, because it's being directed by David Lowery.
That's this year too.
That's the reason. That's this year.
It's this year, and it's not in theaters. It's only Disney.
No, that I know, but I thought it was 2023. Okay.
It's I'll look it up.
Look it up. Lady Aaron, I gotta ask this to you, Ren and Zach, but what are your thoughts on the new Pokemon game Scarlet and Violet that got announced on the Pokemon Presents a couple of weeks ago? You guys excited? I am excited.
It is this
year. Number one, it's a new Pokemon game of a new generation. I always get excited when there's a new generation. I love the starters of this. I love all three of them. It's been a while since right away, just looking at them, I fell in love with the starters. Didn't happen with Sword and Shield. I grew up to like two of them, Score Bunny and Grookey or Groki. I don't remember the name. But I don't love them, and I miss loving the starters because to me, Pokemon is all about liking the Pokemon. So I hope the legendaries are just as cool. The rest of the gen is just as cool. I hope the evolutions are cool. And obviously, they're basing it off the region. They're basing it off of Spain and Portugal. So there's a part of me that's like, this is fucking phenomenal. So yeah, right now at least, very excited. Zach, what about you? I don't know if you explored anything beyond like what I sent you, like just the images.
I didn't. Oh, well, I saw Portugal, right? That's where this one is.
Or yeah, like the region is going to be based geographically. It's going to be based off. Of
I really like the look of the starters, but that's really it. I won't. I literally typically, like, for Pokemon games, don't look up anything. And then when it comes out, I just play it. But we'll see. I don't know what it is. Like, I bought the remake. What was the Pokemon one? Diamond,
Ruby, Alpha, Sapphire.
No, the Diamond
one. Shining Pearl.
I bought those. And it's in my Switch, and I literally never started.
I only recently also started playing. I haven't even bought Legends Arceus. I'm still waiting for that to drop.
Yeah, I'm not buying that for $60.
Yeah, right now it's going for £40, $39.99 here on Amazon, and I'm still waiting for it to drop to the 30. That's where I wanted to drop before I buy it. But yeah. All right, hang on, because I lost the question. I need to find it before keep going. All right, there we are. How was your birthday, Ren? My birthday was sensational. Loved the city. I've always wanted to go to Scotland, and visiting Edinburgh. It was so wonderful. The city is beautiful. The people are so nice, so welcoming. It's a really small town, so you can very much do everything you want to do in like those 3 days that I spent there. And definitely a place I want to go back to because I didn't do everything. I didn't go inside the castle and all that, but really wonderful town. And yeah, I just want to go back there and then visit other places in Scotland because it's always been a dream destination. I did a photo dump yesterday on Instagram, and there are more photo dumps to come because I still don't have all the photos. So Zach, do you have curiosity about going to Scotland? Have you ever wanted to go? Do you want to go now that I went and am talking such beautiful things about it?
You know, I would love to wear a kilt and go there with you. And
oh yes, you can come with me. I am a lord, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Bruna, my housemate. She bought me a plot of land in a castle, Dunan's Castle. And so now I am legally a lord. This is the decree. And now, Zach, if I want to go visit the castle, I have a right to a free tour because I own part of it. I own a little bit of the land at the castle. And also I have a kilt that I can buy. There's a specific color associated with this. So if you ever want to come and we'll go to my castle to give a little bit of a tour and we'll buy a kilt. Kilts are expensive though. That's why I still don't have one.
How much are they? I'm just curious. How much are they?
So if you want to buy basic good ones, they go for between 100 and 200 pounds. I had somewhere here the ones that I can buy at my castle specifically, and it's 460
Jesus fuck.
Yeah.
I did that to dollars.
The conversion,
and that's a PS5 right there.
Yeah, it is. It's true. All right. Ren, are you nervous about your match on the League of Cinephiles tomorrow? And everyone to go to the League of Cinephiles channel. Yeah, go to that to watch me tomorrow. I'll let you guys know. I'll share on Twitter before you go because it's going to be live tomorrow. No, I'm not nervous. I've beaten Alex before. Alex is the one that brought me into the league, so he's the one that is nervous. He's the one that is intimidated. I don't know if Alex is watching, but I hope he is watching.
I think he is.
But yeah, I'm not because it's just for fun. I just love playing the game. I just love doing movie trivia. Joe Fletcher. Thoughts on a new Alien movie going straight to streaming and not going to be connected to the other movies? As a big Alien fan, the only thing I want to see from this franchise is an ending to, I know what you're going to say, Joe, I feel ya, Ridley Scott's trilogy or Liam Blomkamp's Alien 3. But I guess this movie could be good. Who did they attach to this film?
Fede
Because I
Alvarez.
know Fede Alvarez. Every time Fede Alvarez directs something, par the girl with the dragon tattoo or the girl with the spider's web, I like it. So I like that he's attached to this. Like you, at this point, having seen Demonic and just knowing what he's like as a person, I'm not interested in seeing Neil Blomkamp's take on anything. But I really want to see an ending to Ridley Scott's trilogy. I'm still more excited for the show that is being done by Noah Hawley rather than this supposed movie. But I'm curious right now because again, we don't know too much about it. We know that Fede Alvarez is doing it. Going straight to streaming, I get, because Covenant did so poorly. Not enough people went to see Covenant. Not enough people liked Covenant. I liked Covenant. I want to see an ending to that. But I don't think that's coming. Unfortunately, I think that's beyond dead at this point. Zach, do you see any hope? Are you excited for the Fede Alvarez one, even though it's disconnected?
I'm more just tired of this shit where all these horror films are going to streaming now. Evil Dead, Predator, Alien. I think there's a market still for them, so that's the only thing that's kind of disappointing me. But
I get it.
You know, I guess like I'm excited, but I guess we'll have to see because I need to know the concept. I would have preferred Ridley finishing out his thing. That's just me though.
All right. Who are some actors and actresses that you are surprised have never won an Oscar and never been nominated for an Oscar? I don't know off the top of my head who has or has not been nominated. To me, it shocks me that people like Jim Carrey or Emily Blunt haven't been nominated. Those are two good shouts. I wouldn't remember them off the top of my head, but those are good shouts for an Oscar. Also, Ryan Gosling and Adam Driver should have had at least one Oscar win by now. What should Ryan Gosling have won for? Maybe I would have given him an Oscar for Drive. Adam Driver certainly would have given him the Oscar for Marriage Story. Who won Best Lead Actor in 2017? So Ryan Gosling couldn't win for La La Land. 91st Academy Awards. Is the 91st? No, it's the 89th. This was in 2018, 89th. Who won Best Actor this year? Best Actor, Casey Affleck. Yeah, I that one went to the right person. As much as I love La La Land, it's the better movie between that and Manchester by the Sea. But Casey Affleck definitely deserves that Oscar. But I don't know who else. Maybe Margot. You can have an argument because 2017 was too strong. I don't mind at all that it went to Frances for 3 Billboards. She was tremendous. But you can make an argument for. I was rooting for Sally Field. Honestly, I think she should have won for Shape of Water. Or
Sally Field. I thought it was Sally Hawkins.
Okay, Sally Hawkins. Sorry, not Sally Field. Thank you. Margot Robbie for I, Tonya was also a good shot that year. But I can't, in good conscience, say take that Oscar away from Frances. But those that you shouted out are good shouts. So yeah, Zach, any others?
You kind of mentioned all the good ones.
Yeah. Oh, Emily Blunt. I would have definitely nominated, maybe even give the win to Emily Blunt for A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
I'm not mad that Olivia Colman won for The Favorite because she was so good.
Dude, biggest surprise. Such a good surprise, too, that she won. She was so shocked, I remember.
Yeah, but other than her, I would have given it to Emily Blunt for A Quiet Place. Yeah. Jack Alexander, I couldn't get into The Witcher. I've watched 3 episodes. Should I keep trying to get into it? It's a tough question because I love The Witcher. I love how they told the story in season 2, though I understand the issues that people have with it. But as much as I love The Witcher, Jack, if it's not working for you, don't waste your time. Like, there are so many other things you can be watching, you can be investing your time into. Like, I'm going to get morbid a second here, but we only get one life. Time is valuable, man. So as much as I personally like The Witcher, if it's not working for you, brother, drop it off and go try another show that you might really enjoy that you're interested in, you know? So yeah, don't waste your time. If you're curious about it, maybe 2 more episodes. If you've already watched 3, so that's a 3 episode rule. But I don't know, man. If I can't get into something by 3 episodes, I just drop it. So if you're not enjoying it, it's fine, man. But maybe give the anime movie a watch on Netflix, The Nightmare of the Wolf. That one is cool. Zach, what are your thoughts on it?
Same thing. My whole thing with a show is if you can't get into it after 3 episodes, they ain't worth your time.
Yeah. And we say this as Witcher fans, but if you're not enjoying it, it's not worth your time. There he is. Well, look who it is, the chump I'm going to beat in trivia tomorrow. Are you though? Are you really? Don't think you are. All right, Joe Fletcher. Who do you think wins Best Actor and Best Actress at the Baftas tomorrow? I'm not paying attention to the Baftas, so I'm gonna have to check. Baftas 2022? 2022. Tomorrow. Wikipedia. Give me the Wikipedia. Here we are. 13th of March. Best Actor and Best Actress. Let's see. Best Actress in a Leading Role. Lady Gaga, joke. Alana Haim, joke. Emilia Jones, Renate Rensvi. I still don't know how to pronounce her name. Joanna Scanlon. After Love. What the fuck is After Love? I don't know what that is. And Tessa Thompson for really? Okay. I think it's going to go to Renate for the worst person in the world. My vote personally is Emilia Jones for Coda. Zach, who do you think wins? And who do you want to win if it's a different person?
I don't really care about the BAFTAs personally. I don't even know. I'm kind of over the entire award season this year because of the shit that went on with it. Yeah. So I don't know. I want chaos. Give it to Lady Gaga because then there's no fucking front runner.
I think Renate is taking it, but Emilia Jones gets my vote. Best Actor, Adil Akhtar. He's one of those actors that I know his face, but I never knew his name until now. For Ali and Eva, which I still haven't seen. So take my vote on this one with a bit of grain of salt. Mahershala Ali for Swan Song, which I still haven't seen. Benedict Cumberbatch, Power of the Dog.
You've never seen Swan Song?
The Mahershala Ali? No, I haven't.
How do you not watch Swan Song, dude? How do you not?
I wanted to. I wanted to, but it only came out in the.
How disappointing!
It only came out in the final days of the year, and I didn't have time.
No,
Benedict Cumberbatch, no excuses. Power of the Dog, Leonardo DiCaprio, Don't Look Up, joke. As much as I love Leo, Stephen Graham for Boiling Point. That's such a good movie. Will Smith for King Richard. I think it's going to be Benedict. If any
I think Benedict
other one has a chance, I think Benedict. Maybe Will Smith takes it, but my vote goes for Benedict. And Benedict is fantastic. As much as I don't really care too much for the Power of the Dog, Benedict is awesome. So that's who I think is taking it. What else? Ooh, what's a good movie that has a bad soundtrack, and what's a bad movie that has a good soundtrack? Ooh. Good movies with bad soundtracks. I'm going to search on my good old friend Google. Wow, I'm going into Reddit. All right. Wish me luck. First time going into Reddit. Someone is saying Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse has a bad soundtrack. I don't agree. So that's me already regretting coming to Reddit right here. And most people are talking about score because they don't know the difference between score and sound. Oh, Aquaman has an awful soundtrack. It has a great score, but it has an awful soundtrack. Zach, what are some good movies with bad soundtracks?
You just mentioned one of them, but
yeah, I know.
That's like the one that kind of pops out of my head because it's so random. I can't. There's another movie that I saw recently that had just like it was like blaring music for no fucking reason, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
I'm gonna give you one that Zach's gonna disagree because Zach is the one person in the world who likes this film. But bad movies with great soundtracks, and I mean great soundtracks, Sucker Punch.
I know. I like the movie, but I can understand that.
All right. When do you think Hogwarts Legacy will come out? Isn't it this year? Or is it delayed?
Yeah, it's this year, unless it
Okay.
gets delayed again. But it's supposed to come out in April, from the last thing I heard, but it never got. That's not
Okay.
happening. So let's say it's not going to be September because that's Gotham Knights. So I would say either August, maybe this summer, but if not, they'll probably push
No,
it
isn't
for
Gotham
holiday
Knights
season.
October?
Is it? Oh,
Gotham Knights
well,
is October. Yeah.
it'll probably come out. It won't come out in
Holiday season.
October then. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. All right. Kind of spoilers for the Batman? Not really. I've read this question in advance. Eric doesn't spoil anything for the Batman. If anything,
No.
our answers might spoil anything for the Batman, but I don't think we need to answer this question. Who do you guys want as a Harley for this universe? No one. I don't think a Harley fits in this universe. So as much as I love Harley Quinn, she's my favorite female comic book character of all goddamn time. I don't want a Harley in this universe. I don't think it fits. Zach?
I agree. I mean, unless Matt Reeves wants to use her, which I've never heard her.
Yes, and
never
if he
heard
uses
him
her,
talk.
if he introduces her, I'm sure he can make it work. But right now, I don't see it.
Yeah, for me, I don't see a reason to have her.
Yep.
Again,
Good point.
you could somehow use her, but you don't need her. That's the biggest thing I'll say is and especially when you have the iconic Margot Robbie currently still playing her, hopefully in future projects. I just there I'm like I don't know if you need another one, you know. So it doesn't really bother me all too much, but I don't know. That's just my thoughts. I would rather see other characters.
Yeah, I agree. Lady Aaron, are you guys shocked that you completely called Sean Levy being director of Deadpool 3 in the Q&A on Zach's channel yesterday? This wasn't the first time. We've discussed who should direct Deadpool 3 before, and I've called Sean Levy before. So I've called.
I'm not even shocked that he got not announced. It's smart. Yeah. It's smart. So
it's proven to be a winning combo twice now. And Sean Levy, I said this on Twitter, but he gave us real steel. So as far as I'm concerned, he can do anything he wants. Eric Thorpe. Also, do you guys think the success of the Batman is what caused the Flash to be delayed so much? Maybe to add Pattinson's Batman? God, no, please. No. And maybe Bale's. No. I don't think it's that. I don't want it to be that. I want them to stay as much away from both of those as possible. Also, I don't think Bale would come back for that.
And I also don't think Matt Reeves would let him. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, but ultimately, I love Matt Reeves. Let him do whatever he wants, but he would never say. If Warner Brothers wanted to have Pattinson, Matt Reeves would not have a say. So yeah. Joe Fletcher. Spoilers for the Batman. Everyone mute us or skip like around a minute or 2 minutes if you're listening to us on Spotify. If you're watching us right now on YouTube Live, just mute while Joe's question is up. Spoilers for the Batman. Here we go. Do you think Selina will come back in a Batman sequel or have a spin-off in Bloodhaven? I would rather have her back in a sequel because her relationship with the Batman is one of the best parts of a perfect movie. I agree that it's one of the best parts of the perfect movie. I think we can have both. I don't think they've officially announced a spin-off in Bloodhaven. I would like to see it. I'd be curious. I think this Catwoman works on her own, unlike any of the other Catwomen we have seen before. But I think she's for sure coming back. She's a part of this universe. Bloodhaven is literally the next town, so she can easily come back.
And if they do a spin-off, they just do one limited series of her.
The movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't include Catwoman in the Batman 2 fan casting and ideas or where I would take the story, but you can very much insert her in that and it wouldn't be a problem. So yeah, I can totally see her coming back. So yeah. Oh, we were talking about this. Don't even be chappy. Good shout. Ren and Zach, I don't know if you guys know this, but Sean Levy has directed a rated R movie before. It's called This Is Where I Leave You, which I've never seen, but it's the one with the big
Seen
cast
that.
with Julia Roberts, Jason Bateman, Benedict Cumberbatch.
It's actually really good. It's actually
And
really good. Very underrated.
The Internship, I didn't know was rated
if
R.
it's the Vince Vaughn, if it's the unrated version is R-rated.
Okay.
The
unrated
studio
version
wanted it PG-13. So
okay.
the
Internship is all right. I don't care for it too much. This is Where I Leave You. I never seen, but it's one that until yesterday I didn't realize it was directed by Sean Levy.
Yeah. So here's my thing with the R rating is Paul and Rhett are doing the script now, which is huge. So that was my biggest worry, was them not doing it. But we all got to remember, whoever Ryan gets to direct this, it's his story. He's producing it. He is the leading man on Deadpool. He was the leading man with Tim Miller on the first movie, and then they separated, and then he was the leading man on the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Levy is a really good director, and I'm always going to trust him with what he does, so I believe that he can do this movie. But I need to hear the story for this. I think that is what's going to get me to that I'm out of my mind excited for this than just curiosity type of thing. That's kind of where I'll leave it. But I want to love it. The more and more I sit on Deadpool 2, the more and more it did not work for me. And it sucks because the first movie is one of my favorite films of all time. So, yeah.
All right. Joe Fletcher, have you guys heard that the Flash is reportedly keeping the door open for Batfleck to return? If this is true, why aren't they doing the same with Henry Cavill?
Nope. That's Grace Randolph's thing. Not true.
Oh,
don't believe her.
Not true. All righty. Perfect.
Ben's done. Maybe they might leave the door open for him, but Ben's done. Ben is done. Yeah.
Ben is done. I buy that Warner Brothers maybe changed their mind and would want him back, but I don't think Ben would.
And that's how I think. I feel like the original idea was to kill him off in some way, shape, and form. I don't know how. And however the idea is now is maybe, well, let's just leave that door. I mean, it doesn't matter if you kill him off. People come back all the time in comic book movies, so it doesn't matter. His head could explode and he could still be alive.
Do you guys think Deckard Shaw will be back for Fast 10? I think they all
that's Luke Evans, right? That's Luke Evans, right?
No. That's Jason. That's Jason Statham.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, he's back. I think they all but confirmed, like officially confirmed, that he's coming back because they set that up. Now watch them not pay it off. It'll be a very Fast and Furious move. Dude, going off on a tangent here. I still can't believe that they actually did the whole he disappears and that's the explanation they give us to him surviving. I'm baffled to this day that the whole thing is, oh, you were there, but now you're here. Oh, well, it's explained. Let's keep going. Da-da-da-da-da. It's so fucking stupid.
I really hope, is it Chris Morgan that wrote all the other ones?
Yes. I
really hope he writes the new one.
Me too, man.
I never knew he was the secret formula for it, but
yeah. Lady Aaron, I can't believe you guys haven't talked about this yet because nobody has asked about this yet, but here you are. Here we go. But what is your opinion on the Obi-Wan trailer?
Can I start with this one?
You even more excited for this show? Start.
It's terrible. What a terrible trailer. Like, I sat there and I was just like, really? What the fuck are we watching here? Like, why are we watching Jesus with a lightsaber and some other like demonic devil Satan people? Like, this is not religious to me. This is terrible. In all honesty, though, I came. So that's my thing. I loved it, man. This is the trailer. This is the tease I needed. I don't need to see anything else. There's enough in there that you can kind of watch and be like excited about. That looks like there's an underground water base that maybe ties into Fallen Order, which is cool. But I love it. Very, very excited to see what they do. The Inquisitors gets me super, super hyped. And I'm very interested to see where this story goes. I'll say that. I just hope this is great. I hope it's the best thing Star Wars has done in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I absolutely adored this trailer. It was everything I wanted. It focuses on the right things, and it brings in some things that I was not expecting. One of the things that it confirms, and nobody seems to be talking about, was that Sung Kang Han from Fast and Furious is playing the fifth brother, the second brother. I think it's the fifth brother, the Inquisitor. We see a lot of Inquisitors. We see the Grand Inquisitor. So this is before Rebels, or maybe during, but I would bet before Rebels. And we see the underwater base from Fallen Order in one of the shots. I think it's so awesome that we're putting together the world of the Inquisitors and Obi-Wan, but I just hope that it's that melancholic story of loneliness and desperation and someone learning and living with their failure, because that's where we find Obi-Wan here. So I want to see that.
I want to ask you. I got 3 questions for you. You ready?
Okay.
Number 1, do we get Clone Wars flashbacks?
Maybe 40%.
Okay. I'm saying 90. I think we get 90%. We're getting them Clone Wars garbs. I think we're seeing Ahsoka. I think we're gonna get like a full-fledged.
Okay.
I think we're getting a full episode. If I'm being honest, I think we're gonna get a full episode that ties in to what is presently going on. That's what I'm saying.
I love that you had to emphasize that it actually ties in, and like what other shows are doing with their flashbacks.
Yeah. I trust Deborah Chow.
You mean to tell me the flashbacks will do what flashbacks are supposed to do, Zach?
Yes.
That's exciting. Oh my god.
Second, what are 3 big cameos you think we see in it? Whether it's a character
know about
that we don't know about, yeah, or like we assume maybe will be in there, but it's not confirmed.
I don't know. We talked about yesterday how it's possible. I wouldn't bet too much on it, but I guess it's possible that Cal Kestis shows up. Ahsoka is a good shout. I think Ahsoka's. I hope she shows up like in a flashback. I don't want anyone Obi-Wan knows to be with Obi-Wan at any point.
Nope.
I mean, Uncle Owen at some point, like they meet up, sure.
Yeah, but Uncle Owen hates him. Doesn't he want him?
I know.
So
yes, and maybe that's what the confrontation will be about. But like,
and maybe
if
that's
they actually meet in person, I think that's okay. But I don't want like any comfort to be given to Obi-Wan. To see a friend that he lost and thought was dead. Blah blah. No, I want Obi-Wan to not know Ahsoka's life. Never let them meet. Blah blah. Someone else.
I have one. And I think we're going to
Yoda. I wouldn't mind seeing Yoda.
Yoda was one of my thoughts, but I have 2. Well, okay. Yoda was one of mine. So my other 2 is, I think we're getting Tamara Morrison in here as Commander Cody. I think we're going to see Commander Cody.
I was like,
no Boba, not Jango.
He's not that old at this point.
No, but I think we're going to see Commander Cody, Tamara Morrison's. And there's a shot in the trailer that I'm pretty sure that was Tamara Morrison. I'm just going to say. There's one shot of a bald head in the back, and I know that fucking bald head after watching
an old person! So. It's a clone! Send me that shot after the show.
I will. I got to find it. I got to give a shout out. Someone else pointed it out, and then they're like, that looks like Tamara Morrison. I'm like, well, I feel like Commander Cody would probably be the best one to have in this show. So, I don't know. Maybe it's Captain Rex, but I doubt it. The other one... Qui-Gon. There is no fucking way you are not giving me a Force Ghost of Qui-Gon.
Yes, please.
They are 100%.
It'll be the best thing Liam Neeson has done in years. Well, he was in Widows.
Should I say something else that I've heard?
I don't know. Should you?
It's not a spoil. Well, so I went to a store out in Arizona.
I thought you were about to say I went to Australia, and I'm
no. So I went to a store in Arizona, and I was asking them because they do like they get celebrities to come and sign stuff.
Yeah.
And he mentions to me, "Oh yeah, we were supposed to have blank come, but blank is filming Obi-Wan right now." So he told us 2 months after he would, which 2 months later, after Obi-Wan was done, he came. I don't know if I should say who it is.
Tell me in the private chat. Don't risk it, but tell me in the private chat. Oh, I hate that.
Oh, same. Same. I'm
Awful.
really. I hated
Awful.
it. I hate.
Awful. I'm not gonna let you guys know who Zach means. Just be disappointed in the show. Don't be disappointed in advance like
I
us.
will say, if it's a
We could be wrong
flashback,
though.
if it's a flashback, I'm fine. If it's a flashback, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And maybe the guy was just assuming that's what it was. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what he was just assuming. Because I kind of told him, I was like, I don't think that makes sense, but okay. You know what I mean? Like, story-wise.
It doesn't make sense. I know that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't at all. Well, what's time period of it? Like, this show
15,
to that? No, but like, how... Is this before or after that event?
Oh, it's before.
Okay. So technically, I mean, he's... But context-wise... yeah, never mind. I know what I'm thinking.
Because it's before... We can say it this way. It's before Rebels.
Yeah.
So it's before that.
Well, that is true because the Inquisitor's in there. So yeah. Okay. I have my thoughts. Okay. Never mind. I'm remembering stuff from Rebels now.
Ren, what are some Pokemon games that are underrated or get too much hate? I don't know which Pokemon games get hate. For me, I feel like Black and White 2
garbage.
and Ultra and fuck off. And Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are very underrated and don't get talked about enough. While I think Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl get way too much hate. I think the Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and Sun and Moon are underrated. That's a region and gen I didn't care too much about at first, but playing those games, getting to know those Pokemon, that's a really good game. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are such.
I still have not played Omega.
Games.
I own it.
Such good games.
I don't like the original Ruby. I don't know why.
You fucker. That's the best gen of Pokemon.
It's not. It's not.
It is.
I'm gonna bring you on Critics Play Games, and we're gonna do a whole thing of what the best Pokemon generation is.
Okay, it's the third one.
No.
It is. Yeah,
no,
for sure, 100%.
No.
Like no ifs or buts about it. I don't. It's not underrated, but to me, still the two best Pokemon games ever are Emerald and Platinum. Platinum is still
Platinum's
a
really
phenomenal
underrated
game. And the fourth gen isn't even my favorite gen. It's a gen I really like. I quite like most of the gens apart from this last one overall and Johto. But they're still good. They're still fun. It's still Pokemon. I still like it, you know? They're just the weakest out of the bunch for me.
Johto's my favorite. Johto's the second one, right?
Johto's the second one.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
I just don't care too much because I didn't love any of the starters. It's just too small a number because they only have like 100 Pokemon. But one of my favorite Pokemons is from that gen, and that is Entei. Entei is my... It's like I have a 3-way tie for favorite Pokemon of all time, and one of those 3 is Entei.
My 5 favorite Pokemon of all time. Gengar is my number 1, always will be. Number 2 is Mew/Mewtwo. I love them. 3 is Lugia. Is that how you say it? Lugia?
Lugia, yeah. Lugia
fucking love Lugia. 4 is Squirtle. And then 5 is... It goes between either Charmander or Lucario, because I fucking love Lucario.
Lucario is in my top 5 as well. To me, it's Blaziken, Entei, Rayquaza,
awesome.
Lucario,
awesome.
Absol, also
Absol's
third gen,
awesome.
is up there. Noivern, I think Noivern is from 6th or 7th, but Noivern
I think it's 7.
Fucking awesome. I called my Noivern, like I give my Pokemon nicknames.
Oh,
my Noivern is
I also love the Panda Bear one. Fucking love that one.
Oh, Pachamp?
I fucking love, dude. I love fighting Pokemon. Hitmonlee, fucking Hitmontop, like all those.
Tyrogue is cool. The pre-evolution to them.
Yeah.
Primeape was one of my favorites in the first.
I love Primeape, dude. I have a bunch. I used to have all the old Pokemon VHSs. There is I don't know. It's one. It has Primeape and it has Brock, and they're traveling, and like Primeape like punches him or something. And as a kid, I thought it was the funniest fucking thing. And I remember I broke the VHS because I would watch the scene, laugh my ass off, pop it out, put it in the rewind thing, rewind it a bit, put it back in, and watch it again, and then pop it out, put it back in.
If you love fighting Pokemon, the 3rd gen has Blaziken, which is firefighting.
Blaziken's
the 4th
awesome.
Gen has Infernape, which is firefighting. Then the 7th, I think, the Sun and Moon one has this Pokemon Incineroar. which is firefighting, and he's basically a wrestler, but it's a cat. It's such a cool
He's
design.
in Smash Brothers. Yeah, isn't he in
Oh,
Smash
he
Brothers?
is?
Yeah. I have an amiibo of him.
Okay,
I hate
cool,
him.
cool.
I hate playing
and then
that game.
And then there's Greninja, which I know you like as well.
I love Greninja,
This is a good question because I haven't figured out. Actually, Ren, this is a really important question. Since daylight savings time starts this weekend, will This Week in Geek continue at 9 a.m. EST, or will it be a different time? So, Zach, by next week, what time will it be right now? Because we need to figure out if we need to start later.
Okay, so the thing, Arizona stays the same.
Yeah.
Everywhere else changes but me. So
okay, so you're good. I don't know if I change. I think I only change next week because
you change an hour, don't you?
But
are you an hour ahead of me again, or
week.
More?
I don't think I changed this week because here in Europe and in the States we don't change at the same time.
Okay.
So I think
like for instance, I go to PST. I go to PST, so California moves to my time. Well, I guess vice versa, whatever. So like next week here, it'll be 8:45 a.m. like right now in California and Arizona. But EST would be 3 hours ahead, so 9, 10, 11. It'd be 11:45 there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Probably
we'll figure it out. Like I'll schedule the show as early as I can. Once we decide a topic, I'll schedule the show on YouTube for the same time that we're starting this week, and then I'll ask Zach, what time is this for you? And then from then on, we'll figure it out. So just
also
keep in mind when
I was going to throw this out. If you guys want us to do topics, you can send me an email and I will send it to Ren and we can go that way. So, or you can send Ren as well. So because I'm sure shit will get announced this week personally.
Sure. And what comes out this week? What's the release this week?
It's a bunch of indie films. It's like Dark Water comes out. The Outfit.
Oh, Deep Water. Yeah.
I can't talk about it. I've seen it. So,
all right, we'll figure it out. Joe Fletcher, what is the first thing you want Discovery to do when they acquire Warner Bros? For me, they should call up Henry Cavill to do more Superman and call up Ezra Miller and fire him.
I have my thoughts.
I just want them to because look, no matter what they do now, we're not going to feel the impact of the big decisions they make now. It's going to take a while. Like right now, we're still feeling the impact of the decisions that Walter Hamada made when he first took power. And that was back in 2018, 17, 18, 18. We're only feeling that impact right now. So the impact that comes with the Discovery thing, we're going to feel in like 2-3 years. I want them to figure out, like, if they want to do solo movies and a cinematic universe, that's awesome. Do that. Have that liberty. But if you want to do a cinematic universe on that front, actually figure out how to connect your cinematic universe and do the groundwork before doing all the connective things and paying it off and say, oh, this is a cinematic universe. Like, okay, what about the movies tells me it's a cinematic universe, you know?
Yeah, real fast. Nathan Holton just mentioned there's a new Guy Ritchie movie out this week, and there's no screeners for it.
It's this week. Operation Fortune.
Yeah,
Operation Fortune, and then it has a French subtitle. I don't know why. Sonic is
it really coming out? Is it really coming out though? There's not even showtimes to buy tickets yet.
Operation Fortune. Let me see. Yeah, it's coming out this week, supposedly. I'm expecting tickets to go on sale around Monday morning. That's usually what happens.
Do you know how long it is?
2 hours.
And 35 minutes.
No, 2 hours. I'm checking my Cineworld page. What are you checking?
IMDb.
But I trust Cineworld more than that.
What the fuck?
Yeah, good shout, Nathan Holton. I knew that was coming out. I'm interested because it's Guy Ritchie, but I had no idea it was this week.
Wait.
Especially because the villain is Ukrainian.
Wait. It's not releasing out here. It's releasing March 17th in Australia. Not out here. We're not getting it. I don't know if you are, but
I am. I just checked. hang on. I just checked Cineworld, so
No, it
I
says
am.
release date internationally March 17th. No release date yet for the United
Yeah,
States.
March 18th, because we don't get movies on Thursdays. Where? What the
That's
fuck?
crazy.
Your computer. My computer. Share screen with. Here it is. Look at that. 18th of March.
Huh. Well, lucky you.
I'll give you an update if tickets go on sale on Monday.
I'm curious.
All right. We're almost at the end here. Let's hurry our answers up. Suppose for the Batman. Again, skip around a minute, maybe a minute and a half if you're listening to us, and mute right now if you're watching. Is it weird? Here we go, spoilers. Is it weird that the funeral scene, Zoe Kravitz is not there, even though I saw her on set when that scene was filmed here in the UK? A lot of scenes were filmed very close to where I live.
I have an answer.
I don't see the use for her character in there, and maybe that's what they realized and then took her out. Because maybe what you saw was her as the stand-in for that shot where we just see the boots and the legs that Bruce sees and thinks it's her, but then it's not her. So maybe she was just standing in to create the illusion. I don't know, but I don't see in the story, I don't see what point her character would have served there.
Matt Reeves did it on purpose. He filmed a lot of anything outside. He tried putting fake things out. Barry Keoghan was also in that scene dressed as Officer Stanley Merkel. So there's that.
All right.
So.
All right. Joe Fletcher, what is the best movie that were filmed close to where you live or are from? For me, it's The Batman or Yesterday. I'm going to say The Batman as well, off the top of my head. Like, I live in London now. So many movies have shot here. Bohemian Rhapsody shot here. A ton of the James Bond's movies shot here. The Batman shot here. Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness shot here, but I still haven't seen that, so it doesn't count. So I'm going to have to say The Batman. Where I'm from, nothing was filmed there. So I have no fun stories where I'm from. Zach.
We haven't had a lot of movies filmed out here. Well, we have, but they're not great. Some of the Transformers movies, all in the desert. So not talking about those. Tombstone, obviously, was filmed out here because Tombstone, Arizona. But there's a movie filming out here right now with a world-renowned director based on his childhood, and it's Steven Spielberg's brand new movie, Fableman. So that'll probably end up being the best movie filmed close to me.
Nice. All right. Ren and Zach, only Zach, because over here we don't have HBO Max, but I appreciate it, brother. Gia, 1998.
No, isn't it launching? It's launching soon, though, isn't it?
I don't know. Supposedly it's from 1998. Starring Angelina Jolie. It's a biopic of the late great fashion model Gia Karangi, who died at 26. Damn. It's on HBO Max. All right. I don't have HBO Max, but I'll keep that in mind if I find it on any other service. And it'll be my first exposure to Gia Karangi. Thank you for recommending it, Luis. I mean, I answered this, but sure. Since I know what is your favorite movie of 2022 so far, Ren and Zach, what is your currently least favorite movie of 2022? It's on Letterboxd. You can go check that out, but it's Blacklight. Blacklight is awful.
That or Texas Chainsaw. Yeah.
All right. I mean, those are the two bottom for me as well. I think you guys are talking about Mace Windu showing up or or Kanan.
That'd be cool.
If it was Kanan, it'd be great. Mace Windu is dead, so I also don't want to see him show up.
Unless Clone Wars flashbacks.
Unless Clone Wars flashbacks. But I don't think they're doing that. But if it was Kanan, that'd be fucking awesome. And who knows? Maybe he does show up. I don't know.
Freddie Prinze Jr. Let's do it. Let's get you in there.
Give him a live action role again. Jiggly P is here. What's up, brother? Operation Fortune is out next week. Eric Thorpe, do you guys still think the Batman won't hit $1 billion? I mean, it really has all of March to itself. No other big movies this month when you think about it. I think so. At this point, I think so. Like, I don't think it goes too much beyond that. Like, I'm still not 100% sure. I wouldn't bet on it hit a billion, but I think I would. I would bet on it hitting 800, 900. I hope it hits a billion, man. I'm certainly more confident now than I was before last time we chatted about this. But I hope so. Here's hoping it hits a billion. It deserves it. Zach?
Yeah, I want to see this weekend's box office, and then I'll kind of be able to judge it a little bit better. But for right now, yeah, I'd say so.
All righty. Geek EP, my weekly ranking. Haven't seen a lot, so here's my list, and I'm including last week's. Number 4, Turning Red. Number 3, The Atom Project. Number 2, Summer of Soul. Number 1, The Batman. So Summer of Soul is one I have to watch because it was nominated, so I wouldn't watch it otherwise.
It's really good.
But other than that, I agree with your with your ranking, brother. Thank you for sharing. Gico EP, who are other directors you think would have been perfect for Deadpool 2 if they didn't pick Sean Levy? I could see the Radio Silence guys. Ooh, that's a great shout. Neither of us ever thought about. Shame on you, Zach. Shame on me. That's a great shout. The director of Nobody, was it David Leitch or Chad?
It's not Leitch. I didn't think any of them did it.
No, wasn't it?
I thought they just produced it.
Nobody 2021 movie. No, I think you're right.
Oh, it's the guy who did Hardcore Henry.
Nation. Oh God, I didn't like Hardcore Henry at all. But I liked Nobody. That's a good shout too. I don't think perfect, but good shout. Though I think Levy's going to do a good job after Free Guy and Adam Project. Boy sure loves working with Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds loves working with him, for sure.
How long do you think Sean's been on board to direct this? This obviously wasn't a yesterday thing. I think a couple months.
I think a couple months too. After Free Guy was a hit box office critically, they started having talks because at that point he had also already done Free Guy. So that's when Ryan Reynolds started talking to Kevin Feige like, hey, he's cool. So yeah, that's what I think too. Other directors that would have been perfect. I don't know if I can say too many others would have been perfect.
That's my thing. I don't know who I was looking for to actually direct this fucking movie. I was just about
Taika Waititi would have been a good fit. James Gunn would have been a good fit. Jon Favreau would have been a good fit. Outside pick, but Edgar Wright would have been a good fit. But even talking about all of those, I think the Radio Silence guys are even better than all of those. That's a really good shout.
Can I be honest?
I really cannot say how much I like that.
I don't like that choice.
Oh, dude.
I wish I did. I don't like it.
Ready or Not is essentially Deadpool in the sense of humor.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, man. I love it. All right. Nathan Holton. Ren, have you watched Fresh? I saw Fresh last week, but over here, the film is not out until next Friday, until the 18th. So they've asked me to keep my review up until Monday, so I need to keep it. So I know most of you guys have seen Fresh. I know most of you guys have seen reviews for Fresh, but if you like my videos, if you can support my videos, the Fresh review is coming out on Monday. I had to delay it because the studio asked me to. Disney Plus, they gave me the screener, and I said, no worries. I'll watch the screener and keep the review on hold. So I hope you guys watch the review because I really hope it does well. But yes, Nathan, I have seen Fresh, and I'll elaborate more in the review. All right. Oh, there you are. So you got that from Patrick. What movie is coming out here in
Operation Fortune?
I'm now confused. Good to see you, Patrick. But no, it's coming out over here supposedly. But good shot. Jacoby, for Zach, I should have asked this when Studio 666 came out. How would you rank the Foo Fighters albums from best to worst since they're your favorite band?
I can't do that. I'll be honest, they all mix together for me, G. Colby, but their older stuff's the better things. That's all I can say.
For me, it's Wasting Light. I'm just going to run down his ranking.
Problem.
The Color and the Shape, There Is Nothing Left to Lose, Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace. I guess that's one album. Self-titled, Medicine at Midnight, In Your Honor, Concrete and Gold, One by One, and lastly, Sonic Highways.
I'm surprised. I am surprised Wasting Light's your number one, but more to you.
I just read that he was doing worst to best, but I guess he's doing best to worst. Where are we? What are some of the best movie scores that you have heard in the past? Oh, I don't know. Going back to the same ones we always say: Dune,
The
Man of
Batman,
Steel, The Batman, Michael Giacchino's
Dark Knight
Inside Out
Rises,
score. Dark Knight Rises is my favorite Batman score.
Up
Um,
score.
uh, but that's 2008, already not in the
Oh, is
past
it?
10 years. Anything Alan Silvestri did, Michael Giacchino for Doctor Strange, Michael Giacchino for Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah, those are a few of the ones. Shape of Water as a spectacular score. What was another one? That one score.
Hans Zimmer's
La La Land.
Man of
La
Steel
La Land.
score.
Yeah, anything Hans Zimmer did in the past 10 years is spectacular. Maybe
Skyfall, No
except
Time to
for-
Die.
Yes. No Time to Die for
Spencer's score is fucking
sure.
great
Spencer's
and
score is
excellent.
so fucking good.
Yeah,
Shang-Chi.
Power of
Shang-Chi,
Dog's
Joe
really
P.
good.
West.
Shang-Chi's
Joe
is
P.
really
West.
good.
All
Oh,
right.
fucking Black Panthers, Tenet, Mandalorian, all those. Ludwig's.
Yeah, Ludwig Göransson's Tenet. All right. One last question. What do you guys think of the whole "it's not relatable" criticism on Turning Red? I still think there's another message that we can all relate to about not living up to our parents' expectations. The puberty element of then the puberty element of the story, obviously. Look, I think to a point, because I complained, quote unquote, about it. The relatability criticism is valid until you say that ruins the movie. I don't think that's valid. I think seeing a film that is not about you and that's ruining the experience is a very dangerous way of engaging with films, with storytelling. Like, if you guys saw my review, I told you, like, it's something so specific that they go for that I personally couldn't relate. So that took my emotional connection from it a little bit. That being said, the way it goes so hardcore into this message is admirable. And it makes the story really work for this specific experience of reaching teenagehood that I couldn't relate to, but it's still admirable. And you can still see the value in that. But again, to a point, I think it's valid up until people start saying, oh, I didn't relate to, it's not about me, so it's bad. Like, guys, I don't know if you can tell, but Get Out is not about me. And it's still a great movie. You know? Zach, anything to add?
So I do think, the whole it's not relatable, it's fine, but you also have to put it to a perspective of you can still appreciate what the movie is for. I think that's the big thing, because there are plenty of movies that I've watched reviewed where I couldn't relate to it, and I might not have liked it either, or maybe did not. I guess not liking is it, but I more could appreciate it for what it is. I think one of the big movies of that is Last Black Man in San Francisco. I think is impeccably designed, everything of that nature, and I gave it a really good review, but it's not a movie that I can relate to really. But it's something that I know many of my other friends who have watched it could relate to it. So I think Turning Red, it's okay to not like feel that relatability, but you also need to understand what's it coming from. You know what I mean? Like, there's an insensitive way of talking about the relatability, and then there's a non-insensitive way talking about it.
Yeah.
And like Get Out is another.
It's not about me, and that's okay.
Yeah,
it's not supposed
like
to be
Turning Red. Turning Red.
I literally say this in my review. Like, this is very much specifically about growing up as a girl. I'm a guy. I'm a 29-year-old guy. It's natural that I won't relate too strongly to it.
Mm-hmm. So definitely, and I think that's another thing where, like, for me, I'm a guy too. But there were some elements that I could relate. There were some elements that I could relate to in Turning Red, but overall, it was more of something I had to take a point of view from a different perspective and be like, okay, like, I have been through puberty. I've been there where, things start to be different and things like that. And I think that's like the one aspect that I did like, but I just had fun with Turning Red. And I understood the relatability of it and how I think it's going to be important for some parents and their daughters to go through and watch and
100%.
understand. And I think that's where I think it's cool. I can't fully relate to it. I'm also not Canadian or Asian. So like there's also that aspect that I'm not a part, but I have friends who are Canadian. I also have a friend who he texted me yesterday and he did grow up in a household like this. And he's like, dude, this is like one of my favorite Pixar films of all time. And we were talking about it. And it's like what I mentioned in my review. I can't fully relate to it, but hearing a story like that makes me so happy because of that. And he was so, and he also has an adoptive brother who is not Asian, and they just got him a year and a half ago, 2 years.
Nice.
And he just laughed and thought it was fun. He's older than him, and he thought it was fun. And he told me like I was asking, I was like, well, how'd your brother think about it? And he goes, well, he could relate to it, but not fully as much as I could. And for me, it's just, again, I think it's important for Pixar to tell stories like this. Luca is another big reason. Not everyone's going to be able to, relate to Luca, but I could relate to Luca in a lot of ways because it's my culture, and it's a part of my culture that, we had a lot more when my great-great-grandfather was alive and stuff like that. So there's things in there that I think people just need to remember that like every movie might not be relatable to you, but it's okay. Just understand that like who it's relatable to and how cool it's going to be. You can criticize it for its other things, but you can't be insensitive about it, which the review that was going around was very insensitive.
Very insensitive.
So even if that's not what they were meaning to say, it came off very insensitive.
That's how you watch films. Forgetting that we're talking about this specific film, it's very dangerous if that's the only way you watch movies.
Exactly.
Don't be an idiot like that guy, who I don't even remember who he is, but don't be an idiot like that guy. Anyway, that is it for this week in Geek. This episode, the third episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening to us. If you're listening to us on Spotify, lots of new content coming this week. I just finished all my Batman coverage. There's a ton of Batman videos on the channel.
You sure you didn't have any more? I thought you're not going to do any more Batman coverage.
Not right now.
I think
I'm done. I'm done.
No.
Because it's also been a week. But there's a spoiler-free review. There's a ranking of all the theatrically released Batman movies, and there's a fan casting for the Batman 2, and this week I'm going to have a review for Fresh. I'm going to have a review for, I still don't know if I'll do a video review, but a review for After Yang will come either on Letterboxd or
you didn't talk about that.
I forgot to talk about
Where would you have put it, just real fast?
Sorry?
Where would you have put it in your ranking?
I think I put it over Cuphead.
Okay.
Below Turning Red, below. So the second worst thing, by far, like it's not Blacklight, but essentially it's one of those films that makes its point and then keeps going, and it's only 90 minutes long. While the Batman is 3 hours and felt like 90 minutes, this one is it's 90 minutes and felt like 3 hours. But I'll review it either on Letterboxd or on video, and there's a ton more videos coming. Deep Water review is coming. I'll probably watch the Guy Ritchie movie if it comes out. So stay tuned for that. Zach, what do you got coming up?
Halo coverage. I'm allowed to talk about the show on Monday. Later in the day. Deep Water. X, the outfit. This is actually a big week. I have like 3 screeners this week, and then I potentially may see The Lost City. I don't know if I can talk about it.
Nice.
Oh, I'm excited. They offered us 2 screeners, but my girlfriend really wants to see it. So or screener, sorry, in person. So I told her, I was like, well, which one can you go to? And she told me one, and I was like, okay, well, if you can go to the earlier one, let's go to that one. So she's trying to figure out her schedule to see if she can. So we'll see. I'm really excited. That movie premieres, I think, actually tonight at South by. So we'll hear reactions about that soon. So.
All right. So stay tuned for all that. All our links are in the description, and you can find us on YouTube. Again, if you're listening to us right now on Spotify, this episode, the audio version for those watching, drops on Monday. So make sure you go support the audio version. So until next week, everyone, love each other. And love the